Okay, so that was that one. What else was an interesting game? Down 1 EDG. I can't even, let me just check the draft for this real quick.
There's 100 Thieves RNG, which was not bad for an NA team.
What was the draft here?
So the best NA team at marker level. Oh, this is the Jace draft. Ah!
Yeah, this is where actually Noguri probably should have lost the game for his team. I'm not actually going to go into the gameplay of this too much, but like, there are many famous games of Jace getting ganked early and then the game just kind of being lost at that point. So in this game, because you're against like tank top, and then they end up going for the is it? Oh, Hecarim, yeah. Like, I'm not gonna lie, guys. As soon as this Hecarim's locked in, especially with a bot lane that is meant to survive in isolation, because this is strong in the 2v2, but they don't often get to kill the Aphelios, kill the Ezreal. Especially with, like, early skirmish power from Sylas as well. This Jace is an extra jungle camp for the Hecarim. And there is a point where... So, I'm going to quickly go through some of the hallmarks of this game, because where's the first blood? Because you get, like, sure, cool, Jace pushing in, this is awesome, cool, 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 nice, whatever. You're against double tank topside. And though Canyon is up here, like, as soon as, as soon as this happens, like, you are so boned. Like, sure, oh, so close to getting the extra kill there as well. I mean, you die if you take another tower shot, for sure, but, like you've burned flash in topside versus a lane. So if you push into this now, you die. Without flash, you die. This is quite famous in terms of, there was a tiebreaker game in like season 7 between TSM and Misfits, where it was like Gragas Sion topside from Misfits versus a Jace from TSM, and like Maxlaw, who was the jungler for Misfits at that point, like just does everything to path topside, and like that game is pretty much over after that point. Like if you're against a double tank topside, you're so doomed. You're so doomed if Jace dies. And like the only reason this game kind of like comes back into contention is because and again, they get another kill here, right? It's like, okay, cool, you are just gonna die on cooldown. Because the whole idea of this draft is like, you shouldn't really be able to abuse this bot side. You even got teleport on Ezreal, right? You shouldn't really be able to do much there. Because that's a bot lane which will like, it'll lose in farm, but who really gives a damn about that point? You're not going to have a top laner as that one. The problem comes after this point where EG, they just accelerate the game too much. And there's this one fight which comes up later, which is, because blah, 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 you're actually even in CS at this point. You can see that Noguri can't push up when he doesn't have flash. Wow, that's really bad. And then
Also,
they start losing some fights around the map. And there's one really big fight where, I'm trying to remember if it's at Herald. Yeah, it's this one down here, around Dragon, where Noguri picks up a load of kills, but EG should have just been putting him in the dirt. And at that point, like, yeah, Jace is in the game, but EG should have won through topside because Noguri dies to you twice in lane. You shouldn't get to do that against you shouldn't be able to get away with that against double tank topside as a Jace. It just doesn't work like that. Sorry, what were you going to say?
No, Impact. Man, all of these itemization issues. If Impact has a Warden's Mail, Noguri doesn't play the lane.
Yep,
But he has a Bammy Cinder.
Yep, I agree.
Which gives only health.
Yes, it's not great.
Yeah, there's all of these little nuances, like when the Jace should have never been a part.
Jace should not have impacted this game. Should not have impacted this game. People keep saying that 100 Thieves games are just dead for the whole game, but I don't agree. I see them attempting smart plays in most of the games. They just choke the high pressure scenarios. So, I agree largely. Their game versus Flying Oysters, which they lost, the way I kind of triaged that game is that their draft and the way the early game played out left them with very few options, especially after they failed to exploit the 1 weak part of Flying Oysters draft in the Victor in the mid lane that can die against the mid jungle 2v2. I think after they were running out of options, they still played out the scenarios very well, but they didn't have the right options in the first place because their draft didn't allow them and their early game had fallen apart. So for me, I actually think 100 Thieves in that Flying Oysters game, they showed more promise than the other the other NA teams, but like they didn't help themselves like on an overall level with the draft. So that's all I really wanted to talk about in that game in terms of like, honestly, against a better team, down 1 lose that game versus EG. I think that down 1, I'm actually quite worried for them. I think that there have been several games now where Noguri's champion pool or his champion picks or the top lane method that the team has is really not working for me. It's really not working for me.
This bodes well for you though.
Maybe it does. Maybe it does.
Because
but then G2 haven't exactly given me much either. So
I'm not talking. I'm talking about the Fnatic group, because now Zeus is gonna be like, but Nuguri gets to play Jace. I want to play Jace.
Oh, Roster, I didn't call out the follow. Thank you very much for the follow. I appreciate it. So, what game do we want to do next?
And I saw people on Twitter being like, "Oh, this Jace game working out really like says it gets me worried for EU teams because now Zeus's Jace will be played."
No, that Jace should not worked out. Should not have worked out. EG played poorly around it. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Someone, which game would you like to request and why? Because like, we can kind of do most of the games from these 2 games, these 2 days rather.
No, we can do all of them. Well,
yeah, we can do all of them. We can do all of them. This is like, well, I'm not doing all of them today because it's 10 games.
No, not
10 games.
Today,
but yeah. So we've just done. So we've done. We have done. We've done this one. We did. I talked about what I wanted to talk about from that. We've done this one. And I've talked what I want to talk about in this one. So these are remaining ones. Flying Oysters, curious about their team and curious about their strengths. We already did what we wanted to do from this game.
And the RNG is just a stomp, I think.
This one's just a stomp. If you want to know more about Flying Oysters, go watch the 100 Thieves game, which I did in my first VOD review. Should still be on the Twitch VODs. That one's one that we've already done, and I think that one is the best example of it. Which other guns are good to do?
I mean, EDG.
I'm trying to remember what happened in that one.
Oh,
that was huge. Yeah, let's do that. You know what? Let's do that. That was a good game.
Yep.
Bring my tip glass with me.
No, draft has already happened.
Yes. Yeah, no, I just need to change my camera around before we go into that.
Why does this happen? Why did they just send you straight into game?
Okay, so anything interesting on bans? So once again, we are seeing Maokai banned into Yuumi first pick. I really like the Yuumi into the Maokai. I think DFM really showed that very well against EG in the game which they played with that. Or rather, like one of the games they played. I can't remember which one it was, but they allowed the Maokai through and they picked the Yuumi. It worked well for them.
They're worried about them EU Maokais, man. They can't let them through.
Yeah.
You saw what Odo did.
Then I mean, Sidron is a good blind pick, I guess. I don't really care for that. Aatrox off the table.
What do they?
Graves. So you're not gonna have like the insta win farming jungle. Insta win farming jungle if you make mistakes and give them too many camps. Yuumi first pick. Okay, so you are expecting the Yuumi Sivir. What have you got against that? You're gonna Aphelios lane. You're gonna pick up the Sylas here.
Do they do Shandami again?
Azir is more than 5. Okay, so got the Poppy. So Poppy is good early game jungle. Good at ganking into the Yuumi because she can never hop off because the W has too much value.
And the
Also has the Poppy Azir combo where you got the wall slam into the Emperor's Divide. So that's all pretty fun. And it also gives you but I'm trying to that is true. But you also got like prio mid lane with a proactive jungler. Typically that's very good. And that allows you to play towards bot side by kind of using mid lane as like your staging point and having quicker movement towards the bot side of the map should a play evolve. Are you looking at Trundle here from JJ here into the Poppy? That's typically been a pretty good Poppy answer. You could also look for something like a Talia. Oh yes, yeah, that's fine. Yeah. I'm trying to remember what they locked in here actually.
I really don't understand why all of these teams are just letting Humanoid have Azir.
Yeah, I don't agree either. I think so. We saw this from Rogue, right? Where they opted into the Victor side of the Azir matchup. I think this is fine if you have a lane which is not looking to fight. If you don't have a fight, you have bot mid, which are both going to be there and go like, right, okay, we're not looking to fight, we're just looking to scale up into our first fights. Yeah, Humanoid's got Azir in basically all of the games, I feel like. And a lot of play-ins as well. Okay, so now Fnatic are going for the other side of this and say, alright, okay, you want to play passive? You want to play passive between mid and bot? Let's punish you for that. We have prio mid, and we have kill lane bot already with the Callisto. So this is all about going straight towards bot side. You are expecting level 1 fights, level 2 fights, third wave crash dive from Fnatic. That is what you're expecting at this point.
Sorry to say, Alex, but I have to leave you alone.
No worries. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me yet again.
No worries. Thank you for your insight on these games, and we'll chat soon.
Mostly angry about top lane itemization and jungle, but yeah.
It happens. It happens. We all have our pet peeves.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right.
See ya.
Bye bye.
Okay. Right. So, what are Fnatic targeting in the second round bans? Jungles which can affect the bot lane 3v3 in the first couple levels in the game, because there is a Kalista that exists. Trundle is the best of these. You're now looking at JJ going for Lee Sin, maybe something like that. We've seen that a couple of times in this tournament. You could even go for something like a Jinzhou if you're feeling particularly spicy. You have the Yuumi. Yuumi Jinzhou is also a really nasty combo. Not great at playing through this mid jungle 2v2, but it's an option. So, EDG banning out good level 1 champions. Pike hook. And being able to just like roam across the map as soon as like, or rather like get to fights very, very quickly and engage them very, very strong. Kalista gives a lot of survivability to Pike, where Pike shouldn't have that. I mean, of course, the double bandage toss also very, very strong, but they still have options left. So Fnatic, they know that their draft is bot side focused. Lock in the Ornn, because Ornn very happy to survive in isolation. You're worried about Fiora? Fiora's kind of awkward. We've seen what T1 could do with Fiora Yuumi in late game team fights. That gets very, very annoying. And here's the Lee Sin. Lee Sin is a jungler which can affect 3v3 very early in bot, so we have your bot lane and your junglers fighting because you know that you are likely to have that. The bonus of having Lee Sin in that 3v3 is that you're not looking to kill in this 3v3. You're looking to safeguard and just give the extra amount of HP. That ends up being really, really nice in this kind of draft because you're just looking to survive for your bot lane to survive. Western teams really need to stop letting Yuumi through. I agree. It just adds too much. I don't know. Yumi's just... There are ways to stylistically counter Yuumi, but they aren't working right now, so... Okay, and then Disruptive Island top laner. That's fine. This allows EDG to kind of just say, right, we're going to go focus on bot side as well. And have a Disruptive tank top laner, which works well. And then they lock in the Renata after all, do Fnatic. They deny the Ornn on that pick as well, because if both teams know that top side is going to be kind of left on an island, Ornn is typically the best of those champions to add value into late game team fights. So, expect level 1s. Expect bot side pressure from Fnatic. And, of course, that is what we end up seeing eventually. Rather quickly, in fact. Wow, my camera's really whited out again. That is... 1 sec. Let me just drop the brightness down a little bit. There we go. I'm slightly less vampiric now. Okay. Playback speed's already on 2. Let's get into the game. Okay, right. EDG do not have a particularly good level 1 team. It's alright. It's fine. But like, it's nothing special, right? You don't have a Braum, you don't have a Nautilus. That's alright. EDG spot out the 5-man fan. And this is what they do. They call down their top laner. Because if you're going to fight level 1, it doesn't matter if you've got a worse level 1. You can just go and bring an extra person to the play. Scout flashes early, sure. But Gragas is not spotted on the mid wave coming down here. Humanoid's not joining the play. Scout's here. He's spotted now, but at this point... I mean, you're just in the shit. You can start Body Slam at this point. But Fnatic at this point, because of Sivir's passive, so Sivir's passive gives you movement speed when you're hitting enemy champions. You have that quite a lot here. Lethal Tempo, of course, in extended trades gives you a lot of value as well. Exhaust, good chase down, and getting double kill at the bot side. Yeah, that's rough. So this is actually something which I saw from Sengoku Gaming in the LJL first. You'll notice that Flandre's TP's down. You know we were talking about how this is an island where both of these top laners just kind of survive in isolation. They just add value to later game team fights. What that means is you're not worried about plates falling. QCS leads are coming up to this as well. Your first TP back to lane doesn't really mean that much. So if you are against a level 1 team comp like this, why not bring your top laner down to that play? And what you've done now is you've really taken a... Fnatic has taken a huge blow to what they're doing in this level 1. God, this is not good. This ends up being a 5v3. Like, it's not even like Humanoid came into this play as well. Humanoid gets caught between trying to push the wave and then, or impacting the fight. Doesn't end up doing neither. That's super awkward. Super, super awkward. Luckily for Fnatic, they don't end up having their bot side camp stolen away. JJ just walking in, making sure that Humanoid can't push the wave anymore. Well, any more than he could do. Yeah, it's really bad even though Flandre is not there. But this just, like, determines the fight, right? Yeah. Oh, man. Razork is in a... So, the thing is that, like, now you're in a super awkward spot, right? Because we see as we come out of this replay, we can sit down here, right? Razork is looking for a Raptors invade. But, like, you are not ahead in this 2v2. Like, sure, there's a little bit of lane push coming through here. But who gives a damn? Like, you have got so much ability to roam up from this lane compared to what you normally should do if Viper gets to reach the play. And because of what JJ did in terms of actually... It seems like a small thing, but even just JJ walking up, trading onto Humanoid or threatening to trade onto him, so he's not... So he misses 2 or 3 seconds auto-attacking minions here with his soldiers. You don't have mid prio. You don't have bot prio in a draft where you absolutely should, and Razork is punished for that. He blows his flash. He doesn't get to steal all those Raptors. And because it's a cannon wave and a slow push in, you lose the cannon. Sure, you lose 3 minions overall, but you're blowing the flash and you're securing that area of the map. You're already ahead in terms of gold. EDG get a huge advantage from this. You've already got the 2 kills on Viper. You don't care about missing some gold for that. You're already ahead of the curve. EDG really, really solid early game reads on Fnatic. Fnatic's early game has not adapted to what EDG threw at them. And this is where it kind of comes into... so we talked about this a little bit yesterday. Being too obvious is bad in League. Allows for counter plays.
Incompetent.
No. Doesn't apply for stupidly strong plays. Now, before, there were definitely plays which Kalista could do, which are stupidly strong plays. Hey, Kevin. How's it going? Thanks for the follow. I hope you're doing well. For those of you that don't know, Kevin is... are you still at Horizon, Kevin? Are you still there? I assume you are. Yeah. Works for Horizon. Very well respected individual within the esports community. So yeah, thanks for coming to chat. It's good to see you. But yeah, like when you have a draft like this, like they're fighting you level 1, folks. Like this is the level 1 fight bot lane. You have mid prio. You have a jungler which goes bot side. You know they're fighting. You know they're fighting at level 1. So in previous patches where Kalista had more base stats, had more damage, had more ability to fight, maybe if Poppy had like, I'm trying to remember if Poppy was nerfed actually coming into Worlds as well, but like, were that the case, and also maybe even Azir's had a lot of nerfs too, maybe you can pull off that level 1, but it is not as powerful a play now to go into a literal 5v3 or 3v5 and win with that. So this is also what happened with DFM versus EG in the tiebreaker game where they played the Kai'Sa set, where it's too obvious what set support does at level 1. So one of the reasons why he's fallen away from the meta after all of his nerfs, where, yeah, you know he's going to flash Facebreaker you level 1 and then use his Hex Flash after that point. But it's too obvious nowadays. It's too obvious, you can counter it, and that's exactly what we see here. And Fnatic, they suffer for it. So yeah, just like in the way that I think about the game, being obvious about the plays and the drafts you're making is typically a negative thing. There is a break point where things are so powerful that you don't give a damn, but this has not been reached in this game. Not bad. They don't get the kill. Oh, God. Oh, this is so awkward, man. This is so awkward. This is really good, actually. So, quick thing I just picked up here. So, Scout puts a ward down onto Raptors here. Puts a ward down there. So he knows that Poppy is not going to be pathing around there looking for like some kind of mid lane dive because Scout is on half HP with no flash. There is actually a chance of a kill there. So by process elimination, they know that Poppy is going to move towards bot side. JJ ends up pathing down towards there. Was he pathing down there anyway? Is he on cross? I'm not great at the jungle pathing. Oh, there's no camps down. Yeah, he's just there for the counter going. This bottom there, yeah, EDG is just really good. Just really good read on what's happening with Fnatic early game. Because LPL were the region which put resources bot side into Kalista lanes. They've been doing this the whole damn year, and honestly, Europe kind of sucked at it for most of it. It was banned a lot, the Kalista, but there weren't many teams that actually did it very well. It's kind of like the way I had it described to you, we've got Treats, which... So SK were actually one of the very good SK teams. But, put it this way. Fnatic don't do the Kalista early level play enough for it to be like standard for them. They still consider it cheese, whereas in the LPL, it is very much standard, and they know how to play around it. So, 2 deaths on the Kalista, 2 deaths on the Renata, 3 kills on the Sivir. Yikes. You are in such a rough spot. Such a rough spot at that point. That is just the worst, man. Just the worst. You've gone wild. You know, I never really liked Skid Row that much, but this song was good. Very much into the hair metal era, which I kind of skipped hair metal for classic rock most of the time. Again, Fnatic trying to play around bot side, it's just not working for them. Your bonus is that you are getting... I mean, Humanoid's laning phase obviously been very good this tournament. Up 15 CS, doing well, even though he's been disrupted a little bit by JJ. But is it enough to really even up what's happening bot side? No. No, it is not. Okay, Herald start. Viper coming up with all of his kills. Cask used by Flandre while Herald is being taken. That's a very important pop ult to hit. Okay, they get the Herald. Oh, they don't get to pick it up. Oh, it's sad. Sad. Sag. What are you looking at now from Fnatic? You're not too far behind in gold, but like having so much gold into a Sivir Yuumi when you're meant to be ahead as the Kalista is just not it. It's just not it at all. Yeah, they is it worth to die for the Herald there? Let me check. Let me check. Can you even do that, or do you just get... Because there's a Lee Sin kick, right? Okay, so... You have flash? You know what? I actually think you might get CC'd away from it. There's no cask. I think it's really bad dying here, actually. Because if you die... Because that means if you die, Hilly's off the map, you're off the map. Now, you're going to have to reset anyway. But there's a chance it gets denied, because you'll have... Oh no, Belly Slam is off. Maybe you can flash over to it. There's a real risk of giving another kill to Viper who's going to run over. And then you're both off the map. And there's a chance that you get pushed in through top. There's a chance you get pushed in through mid. I don't think I would take that trade. I think you just give it up. I think there is a very large chance of you dying, giving up a load of gold, and then destabilizing the top side of the map. I think that's a very dangerous prospect. So I personally wouldn't. That's rough. It's another kill with EDG. Now, obviously, this is like a less valuable game for the Lee Sin. So, like, I know that a lot of people will look at this Lee Sin and go, why would you pick Lee Sin? Into Poppy, into something like Ornn, which just disengages super well. Even something like Kalista ult makes you kind of sad, right? But this Lee Sin was literally just for the first, like, 3-4 levels of the game. And it's worked, actually. So, I think that... So, this is a conversation which... So, I'm not going to say I've argued with other analysts, but it's definitely been... Because that's... No, it's not like that. It's just good to talk about the game, right? But the way I think about the game is in a couple of phases, right? And I think that for a while, the conversation in a lot of broadcasts was how does this apply to your team fight? Particularly in spring, this is a big talking point. Say if you're a team like Mad Lions, a lot of their team comps were not really about team fighting. It was about 3 pushing lanes and then having an invading jungler. This is a similar kind of conversation, right? Where Like, this Lee Sin is not going to give you the best team fight value. You don't really have that much threat onto his ear. You get blocked out by the Poppy, and the Ornn, and the Renata ult, and the... Like, in a 5v5, the Lee Sin is not really going to give you that much. But it does really work for your Sivir and allowing them to survive the early game. You're literally looking to safeguard at level 2, level 3, and to stop them from dying in the best, in, like, worst case scenario. Or being able to fight, as we saw, very early into the game, in this game, right? And I think that's worked out for EDG. So while the Lee Sin I don't think is very good in a teamfight setting, I think it does work in the early game, and you can see the dividends that's paid off. So when you're thinking about team comps overall and whether, like, certain picks... Oh, you can say this kind of thing for, like, the Renekton, right? Renekton is another pick which has been famously quite dumped on for not having the best comp... not, like, the best teamfight comps. And yet we saw against the G2 game, it does kind of work in a different phase of the game, even if that's not about the 5v5. I think that in this game, the Lee Sin actually has quite a lot of value. Yeah, you can. I mean, Lee Sin's not, like, useless. He's just not, like, high Lee Sin value, like, say, in the Rogue game. The Rogue game was a really good Lee Sin angle. Also, this is the Aphelios theme song. It is very good. I think this was my most listened to song on Spotify. Not last year, but 2 years ago. He's not in the game, but it's good music. So, you get yourself first dragon of the game. It's 12 minutes in. Even though you're meant to have a dominant bot side, you have Lost Herald, and you don't get an early stack of that dragon. It's kind of annoying. So, you're still within arm's reach of gold. That's fine, I guess, from Fnatic. You still have a strong 5v5 comp, but the game potentially should have been over if you won through bot side. But EDG picked for the 3v3 bot. They do get the power for that. Flandre just ults away here if he needs to. Burns Flash, that's fine. Why are you weak-siding the Kalista bot, though? Ooh, Flash cleanse away from the Kalista. That sucks so bad. Kalista should never be on weak side. Kalista is just not a champion that is allowed to be on weak side. And I think you can see the mentality there from Hilly. It's a bad death, Hilly. It is. Don't get me wrong. But, like, Hilly is here because you don't want to be weak-siding your Kalista. And they're like, shit, we really can't allow this to happen to our Kalista. And he dies for it. And it's another kill onto the Sivir. And it's bad, but you can understand the mentality of this. Finally, though, they managed to shut down Scout. That's actually a pretty big kill because... At least he got late game insurance in his ear, and of course we know that ends up being very big this game for those of you that ended up watching it live. I did. Humanoid does big work. It's a consolation. But I think the mentality here is, my god, we can't allow Sivir to be on weak side. That'd be the way that I rationalize that. You can only do this with on into matchups which aren't going to punish you on top side as well, by the way. Plates already fallen off, so... you don't really care about Gragas hitting tower. You don't really care about that. He's not like a split push threat. First item on Humanoid, going back to a Herald fight. Losing a lot of minions to tower. Second Herald does give you more gold nowadays, gives you local gold for killing it. But it's still not great to like give over that much farm on bot side. Like Victor's actually becoming a little bit problematic. He's managing to catch up in the... He's managed to catch up a little bit, where obviously Victor falls a little bit behind his ear. Doesn't have the same like laning presence as that champion. Flandre is having a fun time. Razork is having an even less fun time. In Humanoid we trust. This is completely in Humanoid we trust. Ah! Hey Jamada, that's a very loud sound. Not gonna lie. I haven't like mixed any of my sounds outside of like the regular follow and the subscribe stuff. That did scare like the absolute out of me. So yeah, no, thanks Jamada. Hope you were you watching Aurora or were you just playing some League? But yeah, no, thanks for the raid. I really appreciate it. Hope you had a good stream. We've just had a chat about how Fnatic's draft was very obviously going towards bot side. EDG punished them for the obvious play and go, okay, we will make an obvious counterplay. And they did that very, very well. EDG draft Lee Sin in a composition which is difficult in the 5v5, but is literally there for the 3v3 value. Playing solo queue and winning. Oh my god, it's never happened before. Okay, let's go back into this fight. This fight's important. Because this is where we see Fnatic actually starting to flex some muscles. The Azir has one item. Humanoid doesn't complete like the WEQ. He like E's towards the W, so he's in range to actually like keep DPS down rather than throwing his body into the fray. Yeah, Humanoid does a really good job of making that Viper. Viper's just really far from this fight, right? Like, you have Flash, but you are not impacting this fight. Not realistically. So, you isolate Scout. No one's saving him. Kick is already... Where did the kick get used, actually? Wait, where did the kick get used? Oh, it gets used in boss side jungle. Yeah, that's a really good timing for Fnatic to find the fight then. Because one of the big disengage tools is gone. You don't have... Yeah, you don't have this ult. Flandre has a good attempt at a cask to get Hylissang out of the way. Hilly, does he die to ignite? Yikes, that's kind of rough. It's a little rough, bit of a freebie, but hey, that's the Hilly plan. Fnatic are surprisingly are at a really good level in groups right now, especially considering how they're looking in play-ins. Yeah, I think like the big thing is, right, Humanoid is so I talked about this in maybe like my first VOD stream I was doing for this. But I think Humanoid is probably the 4th best mid laner at the tournament. Now I'm gonna qualify that. Let's do this again because this is fun content. We can do this. Donde está? There we go. He's doing back workouts at the gym. Hell yeah, he has. He needs to. Holy moly. Okay, let's go to groups. Main event. So, top mids of the competition. I would suggest that the best mids have been... I think Knight has been incredible. I think that Xiaohu has been incredible. I think you're also looking at... Gao. Who else is on the shortlist? Who else is on the shortlist? Maybe Showmaker. Showmaker's had a good tournament. Humanoid's up there. Larsen's actually up there too. Larsen's up there too. So I think you're looking at like these guys which are like up there. Who else is around? I actually would not put Chovy right now. I would actually not put Chovy. I think Chovy's had quite a poor tournament so far compared to what we were expecting of him. I think that he's not been allowed to have an individual laning phase. And I think his itemization has just really annoyed me. Oh, God. And you know what? Maybe this is a bit controversial. I actually think that Humanoid has had a better tournament so far than Showmaker. I think they're close, but I think that Humanoid is maybe up. I think these three have had a really good tournament, and I think they're very close. I think Knight and Xiaohu are potentially ahead from me. I think the caveat with Xiaohu is that needs like Liss, LeBlanc, similar. If he's on champions which can like play Fog of War and like just go out of laning phase and be like, hey, I can roam to anywhere on the map, I think that they're really, really strong. So I think Xiaohu on those kind of champions is really crazy. And for me, I think that Knight is just on an lull right now. I think Knight is by far the best mid laner in the competition. Oh, Zac has been really good too. Okay. I think you have... Honestly, I think all of these 5 are on a similar level right now. I think you can make an argument that Humanoid is 4th best mid of the tournament. In terms of individual laning phase, maybe even top 2. His individual laning phase has been stupidly strong. Anyway, that's kind of like been my thought process on that. And I think that's one of the main reasons why Fnatic have been able to play like this, because they are playing towards a style which, when you are playing stuff like Azir, that is too big. That is too big of a marker size. I think that if you have an Azir's laning phase is like obviously the huge benchmark for the champion. And then we have this huge fight. So what the heck happens here? What were we through? Oh, yeah. So this was splitting open the fight. Viper... Yeah, I mean, Humanoid just walks in here and just goes, like... This fight is started by Humanoid just not allowing Viper to play the game. They split the fight. This is something that Fnatic were very good at doing this in playoffs. They did this versus XL. I did a Telestrader on it. You can go watch back to that series and find one of those games. Where they're very good at like using these long-range engages. They do this with stuff like Namiel as well. where they find a way to like separate off the team. So they separate off the team. In this case, it's like it's a Zir threat and potentially stuff like the Poppy ult as well. That's kind of used to kind of threaten stuff. But they used to do this Lucian army a lot, where they just separate out the fight and burn down one side of the fight. Look, they use the Poppy ult here. We're not going to talk about that. Did anyone else see that? Anyone else see that? Anyone else see him walk into the gravity field and get stunned out of his ult? Doesn't change anything. Not in this one. I just find it quite funny. Yeah. But still, I think one of Fnatic's real strengths as a team in this meta has been split up the fight, divide and conquer, make sure that the carries can't impact the fight. So you either separate off one carry and burn down the front line, or in this case, you burn down an out-of-position carry. Now, of course, they don't do so well in the second half of the fight. They've done the hard work. They've done the hard work. They'd already split off one of the carries. And they are very lucky to come away with this fight. Because it turns out that Viper and Maker are very good at League of Legends. I was surprised to see Korean commentators putting a few EU players in the top 2 for Worlds so far. Ooh, who would my top players be? Ooh, we could take an aside to do that. We can do that. Let's do that. That would be fun. So, mid lane. I already said it right. I think it's like Knight. I think it's Xiaohu. And then you've got like Showmaker, Yigao, Larson, Humanoid. So that's like my mid lane list right now. I guess in terms of like 80 carries. Oh, I don't know about that one. I haven't thought enough about carries. Yikes. That's actually gonna be a pretty hard one. Comp's been good. I don't think it's like top. I'm just trying to list down some names. Deft's been good, yeah. Deft's been good. Hope's been good. Jackie Love is Jackie Love, man. I don't know if I can put Jackie Love up there in good faith. I don't know about that one. Don't know about that one, guys. Dirkdam's actually had a pretty good tournament. Like, he's definitely separated from this list. Like, he's not up in the top level, but he's been good. He's worth, like, putting in there. I cannot put Jackie Love. I'm sorry, I can't. Gumisi's actually not been awesome so far. He's been okay, but he's not been the best. I think that comp is actually worth putting up there. Sure, yes, sir. Thanks for the follow. I really appreciate it. I think, like, Viper has been good too, but, like, not game-breakingly good.
We are incompetent.
Who does? MHT... Skuts? Much Skuts? There are no vowels in there, so I'm hoping that's okay. This is not in order. I think in mid lane there, I would put Knight and Xiaohu at the top. I think it's Knight then Xiaohu, and I think there's like another load below them in Showmaker, Yagao, Larson, Humanoids. Who else would be there? Anyone else? I guess Faker. I guess Faker's up in that group as well. In terms of ADC, Comp, Deft, Hope. I think they're like in some order at the top. Oh, Ruler had that really bad Senna game. He had that really bad Senna game. I'd probably still put him in like this group, right? Like it's still up there. So actually, if anyone is interested in the players, it is linked below the stream. And in fact, I think it's on my link tree as well, which I have in my Twitter bio. So it should be there somewhere. I haven't edited a lot of my Twitter, like my Twitch links for a while. It should still be there though. I think this is how I'd put ADC right now. Is there anyone I'm like seriously underplaying here? Shun hasn't been awful. Shun has actually not been awful. Is he up there with those three though? Maybe like another bit off, and then Shun's kind of like here. Yeah. Oh, Hillis. Hillis and Upset have been a pretty good bot lane. Yeah, I think Upset actually fits in here, I reckon. I think actually Upset's had, like, obviously in this game, it's not been great, the one that we're reviewing right now. I think that's probably Anyone else? Not Guma, not Flackid. I mean, Guma's had some, like... Yeah, he had a really poor game versus Fnatic. I wouldn't put Humanoid in top 3. I think that these... I think that, like, this group here is kind of, like, at parity. Oops, that's not great. I think, like, I would order these in whatever order. I think these are, like, have all been very good. I know this is also not going to be in roll order as well, and that's going to really annoy some people because, in fairness, it should. But I can't edit this stuff now. It's just there. I can't move that. So, sorry. Oops. Wait, can I move it with this? No, I cannot. That in fact does not help. No. So let's go top lane.
Incompetent.
Cal, thanks for the follow. I appreciate it. Who do I go for top? Odo. Odo's been awesome. Some days been alright. I guess you put 369. I think it's Odo 369. I don't think it's 369 has been like... Oh, Gala. Oh. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. He's in the top 4. He's in the top 4. So top lane, you've got Odo 369. I guess Doran's not had an awful tournament. Doran had that one, like... He had the pretty decent Camille game. I'm trying to think if I mean, I don't think Someday's been playing bad. I just don't think he's like top 4. Zeus had obviously the really good Fiora game, but like a bit of a... I think like he was held back a little bit by drafting. I would still put Zeus up there, I think. I'd still put Zeus up there. Like, he's got a lot more to show. I thought he would be up in this top 3. I can't put him there in good faith right now. In like this top 2, top 3. So I think you're looking at Odo 369 is the best right now. Dora and Zeus have been pretty good. Honestly, Breed's had a pretty good tournament too, actually. Maybe Breed. That one's got a question mark on it. I haven't really been paying as much attention to top lane. I'm aware this is going to be like the worst formatted top player thing ever. I think Breed that... Because Breed had that really good Jax game versus Genji, right? Like, it was whatever in terms of CS, but he had a really good Jax game there. Yeah, you know what? I mean, I am going to keep Breathe there, but there is a question mark on that one. And actually, you know what? Kiaya deserves a mention from Garm. Kiaya actually does... He's like... He's not too far off of this group, but he is off of that group. I think like he's below the top 5, but he's in the next group. Junglers. I'm aware this is going to like... this is the worst formatted list. Yeah, I think Kiaya is actually worth putting in there. Jungle. Can I have... Who do I think on junglers? Wei's had a really good tournament. Watch the game back for the Genji one. Wei had a really good game there. I think he's up there. Canyon is not top 2, but he's up there. I want to put Canyon just... I'm going to save him here for a little bit. He could be top 2 right now, but like... He's up there. Malorang. Somehow. Again. Legit somehow Malorang. I don't get it. I don't get it, but he's like somehow up there. Wei and Malorang are actually... I hate the fact that Malorang is up here for some reason, because like... This guy just confuses me so much, but... Maybe I know that's one which people... You can very much argue him not. I think Malorang's had a great tournament so far. I think Kanavi deserves to be up there. Yep. Yeah, Kanavi. I think those are my top 3. Wei, Malorang, Kanavi. I think Peanut in their game versus RNG was really exposed. He was really exposed in that game. How good of a... Tian's had a pretty good tournament, but maybe like... Maybe you can put like Tian like here. Gemini actually had some pretty good games. I wouldn't put him up here. Maybe like Gemini's down here. Like in the next group. But like he's not too far off again. Like it's like in the same way that like Kiaya is not too far off of this group here. I think Gemini's not too far off this group. Anyone else? It's Peanuts at... Peanuts not had like an awesome tournament. Not so far anyway. Honestly, Razork is not an awful shout. I'm not going to put him like... let's go with like Owner Razork, like as the last kind of two in this group. I think we whack it something like this. I need to like scale down the text a little bit. Or whatever. Well, it'll just fly somewhere off the screen. That'll be fine. Like here. I think we can do it like this. I think Canyon and Tiana are a little bit above Owner Razork right now. I think they've been exposed a little bit in like overplaying. I think particularly Owner and Razork have overplayed a little bit. I mean, you could say the same from Gemini. I think that these two should be better than Gemini. I think they're incredibly high level, but Gemini's had a good tournament so far as well. Particularly the game versus 100 Thieves, he had a really good game. Cabbage finally picked Singed mid? Hell yeah. Was that, wait, is that QR? Gerald, is that QR or Sean F90? I don't think I can put Peanut right now. I don't think I can put, honorable mention Elure. Yeah, Elure. You know what, actually? I'm gonna whack Elure up here. Elure, he didn't even make it, but he's up here. Wait, but if I'm gonna do that, then I need to put, like... The best top lane in the world is obviously Ebby, so, he's actually, like, up here. Yeah. Then we need to do support. Trimby. Trimby. Very much Trimby. Who else is up there? Who else is there? Which of the LPL supports am I whacking up there? I mean... Ming. Ming has been exceptionally good. Missing's had some good games and some bad ones. I'm gonna... Missing is up there somewhere. I'm just not sure if I'm going to put him like here. Because he had the Rel game, which is a little more awkward. Mark is also... Mark has had some good games in like... But the game versus Rogue, Mark had a poor game, actually. Yeah, no, Chovy has had an... Look, Chovy has played mechanically well. But the game they lost against RNG, he was super disconnected from Peanut. And that, for me, is minus points on both of them. Don't get me wrong. But, like, Chovy had a bad game versus RNG. And then... His itemization versus Flying Oyster, it automatically drops him, like, whatever. I think Mako's up there as well. How far do I put him? Yeah? Sam is shouting barrel from the other room, that's...
I think for DRX, he's had some he and Zeka have had some
Oh,
phenomenal
yeah, you know what? I actually agree.
I think he's been
Oh,
really, really
oh, sorry, Zeka was up here as well. Zeka's up here as well.
I mean, Zeka again had...
Zeka's up here as well. I think mid lane is the weirdest one because, like, you've got definitely, like... I think these two are, like... These are my top two. And then all of these are, like, in the conversation for... You can order them however you like, and I could bend to that agreement.
Would I have Xiaohu up there?
Xiaohu, the way Xiaohu has played Fog of War has been incredibly good. Has been incredibly good. I think support... I'm pretty happy with those 5. Who else would I whack on there? Any... Chat says hi, by the way.
Hey, good to hear you or read you all,
Yeah.
I suppose. Yeah. I see your Xiaohu comment. I put it up there. I'm not sure I'm having top 2, but I see you up.
And below this group, I'm putting Koala.
Yeah.
Koala, he's not top 5, but he's actually had a really good couple of games.
His pipe game was bad.
He had a really good Rel game, though.
Yeah.
I think Koala's actually up there. Koala and Carrier we'll put up here. I think they're
a little more inconsistent.
They've been inconsistent, but like they're up in the conversation.
Oh, 369.
And then I guess who would I take into? So in terms of like my top players at Worlds overall so far, I'd like to bring this into like a proper list. Oh, Amne's up there. Knight.
Surprised you didn't have Faker in with the mid lane.
Oh, that's true. He had
the one bad Akali game. He had one very
okay,
good Akali
look,
game.
I'm just because I'm a sucker for like mid laners, so I like mid laners. And post afterwards, hell yeah. I think overall, I think Odo Omni and Knight have had the best tournament so far.
Oh.
Anyone else I put up there?
Good list.
Who in terms of jungle would I put up there?
I managed to find some Longshin ramen, by the way.
Wait, is this Shin Ramen?
Yeah.
Hey, nice. Cool.
Yeah.
So
Quantity of curry blocks.
Scout is off the list. Oh, for God's sake, there are too many mid laners.
There's been quite.
There are too many mid
I
laners.
think honestly, a lot of the teams we're doing well have had some very good. In fact, for me, I would switch Humanoid and Xiao because I think Humanoid has been on another fucking level.
Okay. Stop making my conversation. No, I value Xiaohu more. Xiaohu's Fog of War. Xiaohu's been the most intelligent mid laner at Worlds. I think that individual. I think so. He's been playing stuff like Lissandra, which is typically going to lose lane and finding ways to ruin the entire map with it. Mundaroon, thank you very much for the follow. I appreciate it. And add Fudge. No, we're not adding Fudge. Yeah, actually, Fudge is actually one of the best mid laners in the tournament, guys. This mid lane thing is an absolute mess. But in terms of like overall players so far, it's Odo, Knight. Would I add a third in? Who would I add in as a third?
I throw this one out here.
Trimby or Ming is actually not a bad show.
I would put Trimby or Ming because I would have said they've both been truly spectacular.
Notably, no junglers in that list.
Some of them have been a little inconsistent. I think Wei has been really good on his.
No, not inspired. Not inspired. He's had some good moments, but like not the highest highs compared to the others, and he's also playing quite a constrained style. He's doing his whole like farming jungle shtick again, where he needs to be playing for his lanes in groups.
Kanavi's been very good. If you're looking at why JDG have been winning, it's Kanavi hard carrying their team.
He's been way too good. Yeah, I think. So I don't think you can rate. I'll put it this way. I'd put Wei plus Xiaohu.
Those two have been very.
I think that, like, put it this way. I would have to rate them together, but like RNG only succeed because these two are great.
Yeah, well, and even then, I think Wei on particular picks is awful.
Well, in that case, no LCS players can make hit. I mean, the region's 0-9.
Yeah.
I mean,
none of them have been playing that well either.
They've not been playing that well.
I mean, like,
I was wondering. I have to say, I was wondering whether I put like someday, like down here maybe.
JoJo's had his moments, you know.
But he's also played really poorly around set.
Yeah,
so.
I completely agree. No, I've been.
You have Kaya there and he's 0-3. True, but he also had a really good game versus Rogue as well. Like they actually performed. Kaya at least performed well. Like in the games that they were losing. Most of the NA players haven't. I look at like so I did this in my VOD review, not yesterday because I had a break yesterday, but the day before. Like if you look at the way that EDG played around mid lane priority,
atrocious.
It was awful, guys. It was awful. They played because against G2, right, where they had set and sides like, right, we're gonna push in this lane, awesome, and then they do nothing with it, and they lose plays on both sides of the map. So I think for me, like, I get this is an absolute mess. Maybe I'll write this up properly at some point, but like, this is brief thoughts. I could probably be convinced. I would argue that Uninspired had good moments as well, despite circumstances. I don't know, man. Like, he didn't play around mid-prio well when I think, like, in the same way that I kind of take points away from Chovy and Peanut in their game versus RNG for not playing well around each other, Inspired and JoJo played incredibly poorly around each other in that G2 game when they had the set in Italy. Because you need to play around early game with that, and it sucked. It sucked so bad. Yeah. Although they had a good topside game against Nogari and his Jace, because that Jace should have lost them the game. I would argue, again, that's kind of an Inspired fault for not hammering harder on that lane and accelerating the game too much by playing around objectives instead of just punting the Jace down further into the dirt. ADC, Comp Deft Hope are my top 3. And Gala.
Gala's very
yeah.
good.
Oh shit, Gala's had a good tournament.
No, but I think that's a fairly decent. I mean, that's a fairly decent list.
I think Shun deserves like this honorable mention below like the top 2 packets.
Yeah. I think I'd also say Guma's had a better tournament than I
was. Oh yeah, I can. Hang on, wait. Let me.
But Upset's impressed me more than I thought he would. Guma's been more stable than I thought he would be.
Okay, so you're absolutely right about like readability stuff. So I will. I mean, like it's red on white background at least, but yeah, it's not. Okay, right. So let's do this from the top. Sorry, you were saying?
I'm gonna go put the kettle on. Do you want something?
Yes, please. Can I have a coffee, please?
You can.
Thank you. Right, let me go get the black color out. We can do that. We can do this. We can do that. Cool. So, top lane. No, I have done the wrong color. No, I'm now doing the right color. So, top. Wait, what did I say for that? That was Abby. Lol. Odo, 369. I'm gonna... Out of 369, jungle was... Oh man, I've forgotten what I had on there already. Did anyone have a screenshot? Oh, for God's sake, I've forgotten. This was Wei, Malrang, Kanavi. That was the top ones. Mid was... Knight, Xiaohu. Eddie carry was... Hope, Gala, Comp. Here's the other one. Here's the other one I put in there. Did I put anyone else in there? I feel like I did put someone else in there. I didn't put Jackie Love. Who did I also just pick for each role? I'm pretty sure there's someone else in ADC. Deft. Yeah, that works. Support. That was Trimby. Ming. Did I put Maker on top there, actually? I put Maker there, right? Did I put anyone else? Is that it? Missing. Oh, yeah. I feel like he's like a little bit set. You know what? I can't put Mark up there. Mark had that really bad Leona game versus Rogue, and actually that was a lot on him having a bad game, actually. You forgot the second part?
We are as incompetent.
Thanks for the follow, Sarusha. I appreciate it. You know what? I'll keep it as that. That's fine. Overall, Odo, Knight, Kanavi, I guess. That is okay. That is okay. I probably missed out some egregious stuff in there, but like, in terms of like top players from each role.
I mean, do you have Knight there for good? I mean, Knight's 1 and 2, isn't he?
Knight is... Oh yeah. Knight has been incredible. Knight has been awesome. Oh yeah, I guess I could put like Slash Humanoid as well. Well, no, that's where mid lane gets super weird after that point. For me, Knight and Xiaohu are like the top list though. You know what? Someone could call me out for this, but I'll leave it at this for now.
Okay.
I'll leave it at this for now. Right. So you can screenshot that if you want. Wait, look. We screenshot, so I've got it. There we go. Cool. Nice. Well, that's super confusing. There we go. Cool. All right, let's go back to the game. Let's go back to the game. Cool. This is Fnatic EDG. We're back to this. No worries. I'll try and remember about font stuff. It's just like when you're on Summoner's Rift, it's really hard to pick colors which actually work for a while because there's just so much random crap going on the screen. Okay, what's happening here? This is the big team fight, which Fnatic won. They do their classic thing of splitting the team fight, burning down one half of the fight. And what this also means is that it's very hard. So this is something which Treats talked about. It's very hard to like space effectively to actually defend your carries as tanks. If you're a tank, you want to be stood like here, like this kind of distance. Let me put it in line. You want to be like stood like here, maybe even somewhere like... You just want to be somewhere that you can immediately CC someone or damage someone to prevent them from killing your carries. And EDG gets split. Fnatic are very good at understanding when tanks actually can't do their job like that. and doing well at like bailing out their carries. Bailing out, or rather like killing off carries which are out of position at that point. Oof, JJ, big Gordon. Wait, did he do that when he was on full HP though? Yeah, he maybe should have saved his gold rank for when he was low HP, not gonna lie. Oof. Like, imagine if you gold rank there, gets way more healing out of it, even though the damage is significant. Close. Close. That's a close run thing. I think some times people... Oh god. Yikes. Popped ult. So, our points coming into this game, or at least that we talked about already, were like, okay, Civ is way ahead of the curve. Yikes, that's kind of bad. In Humanoid we trust. We kind of know that already. That's kind of the obvious stuff. But EDG did a very good job about using their resources well early into the game to make sure that Viper is having a good game. To make sure that he's not going to get callisted. They did well at that. Nice. Okay. Frozen Heart onto Ornn. That's nice. Gragas isn't really a threat to you. You get close distance with Sivir, and that's actually a very good item to get. Frozen Heart is such a broken item anyway. It's a very, very good item if you can build it. How bad does Hilly feel though? 21 minutes in, doesn't he have a mythic? Sat there on a stopwatch and boots. That's some real Season 3 vibes. Well, I guess it's better than that. I mean, in Season 3 you just had wards. Since we're doing an EDG for Fnatic, thoughts on Upset's performance since his first Worlds? He's been good. He's had a very strong laning phase. He's not lost his lethal mentality in terms of playmaking. Yeah, I think Upset's had a good tournament. He's had a very good tournament, especially coming through play-ins. You have to kind of temper your expectations a little bit through that. But yeah, Upset's been good. But what the heck's happening here? Okay, let's go slow this down. Big fight. So, Fnatic looking to split the fight again. Wonder has 2 items. He is strong. He has upgraded item. Nice. Flandre is not spotted though. Oof. It's gonna lead to much. So they punt Lee Sin out of the fight. No Dragon's Rage to disengage someone. They're trying to split the fight again. Fnatic love playing around mid lane. They did this versus XL a lot. They love just saying, all right, you are going to be relegated to like this area, and it means that you can't actually fight around this area of the fight. It's like these carries are not impacting the fight. They're just not impacting it. Now you do have ult running. You got flash as well, but Fnatic are very good at just saying, all right, you can't be on both sides of the fight. Now, it doesn't lead to anything now, but you can see the mentality which Fnatic had. Ah, humanoid, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is another big thing. So the humanoid overcommits a little bit. Now, there is a way this works out. There is a way this works out. Humanoid walks in here. Oh, does he mess up his Q? Does he not have Q? Is he look? Should he even look for a shuffle? Flandre. Does Flandre use his belly bot? Okay. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He has belly bop again now. By the time he goes in, he's got the belly slam. He has belly slam. Yeah, he uses it there. Now this play actually works out, you know. If Hylissang does what he's been doing the whole damn game and playing too aggressively, because if you have Kalista ult to either go here, get this guy out of the fight, or you throw them in and then Renata ult, I think that works. I think that actually works out. So what happens here? What happens here? Humanoid's in the thick of things. Nah, man. Hilly, you gotta flash for that shit. Because where's the damage coming in from? Chaos Storm. The one time you need Hilly to commit, he doesn't. That's really annoying. That is really, really annoying. I think this is actually on Hilly. Like, don't get me wrong. Wait, what happens? What happens after this point? Look how close Viper is to dying. Hilly's just got to die. Hilly's just got to throw his body into the play. He flashes over, he ults. Don't get me wrong. Hilly's overextended, but he's doing damage to the right targets. Razork even stuns Flandre. That. Come on, man. That's a winning fight if Hilly all-ins. I think that's a winning fight. That's really annoying. That's really annoying because Hilly's had a pretty poor game. He's miscalculated most of the plays he's made this game. That is actually really sad. You have stopwatch. You've got stopwatch as well, mate. I don't think this is on Humanoid. I actually, when I was watching this, I thought Humanoid died as soon as he eat in. It's like, yeah, that's fight over. But they can totally play this. That's close on the Ornal. That's close. If that's like half a second earlier, you get Yuumi off. Can Razork flash W there? No, not quite. He's not quite in flash W range. Sivir ult's running, but... No, you just go in as Hilly there. What? He just needs to get one more auto. He just needs to get one more auto. Razog is taking care of Gragas. He's literally taking care of Gragas. That's fine. You know what? If you kill Viper, Upset can probably carry the rest of the fight. Remember, this Victor's died quite a lot. Chaos Storm is already elsewhere. They use the Kalista ult late. Hilly dies anyway. He flashes. He dies. This is an awful fight from Hylissang. And look, I don't like dumping on players too much, but like, that is a set of game-losing plays in a lot of scenarios. This could be a one fight. I get it's in the heat of the moment. It's in the heat of the moment. But if I was Fnatic there looking back at that, I'd be saying, you have all the tools to play aggressively as the Renata here. You have stopwatch. You have Kalista ult. You have double flashes on your bot lane. Now, I mean, feel free to disagree, but for me, this is on Hilly not playing aggressively. That missing is one thing. Well, don't take a backstep here. I think you flash in and you just, like, get everything you can onto Viper. Because that's not an impactful Renata ult. Oh, that's so sad, man. Split comms, for sure. But as soon as Humanoid ease in with no flash, you have to all in. Upset didn't want to get burst out by, like, double combos and shit. I get that, but, like... You saw how much damage Humanoid was doing. Ah, that's super sad. I feel like you can play super aggressively there as Hilly. You have all the tools to. Burn flash from Thunder, that's good. But you're losing on the rest of the map because Baron. Oh man, Human slightly miscalculates that. That is so nearly a one fight. If you get the Ornal slightly earlier in just a slightly different direction, that's Yuumi off. Yuumi's dead. If Humanoid has his Q up slightly earlier or chooses to use it, maybe you can get a combo onto the Gragas Yuumi. So close, man. So close. Oh, that's really heartbreaking, actually. Oh, sorry, Trolley Chew. I'm not sure if shouted you out for the follow. Thank you very much for that. I appreciate it. Appreciate it a lot. Thank you. Hope you're still in chat. Try and say it at the time just in case people have to head off. Oh, man. Can you tell I'm annoyed by that chat? You've given a lot of gold over now as well. Because that's a shutdown from Humanoid. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Giving up that Baron, it's rough. That's rough. I mean, it's not like you get completely outscaled. Of course not. Like, you've got Ornn, Azir, Kalista. Like, these are not bad. It's more than okay to look. As long as you're enjoying yourself, that's the main goal of this, or hopefully learning something when it's this stuff. Sometimes that's arguable. I'm known to have my brain farts, but yeah. Glad you're enjoying the content. I appreciate it. So Fnatic aren't exactly going to get vision over the other side of the river anytime soon. Got Blood Ward onto Upset, the upgraded Shilpo. This is actually crazy how close this game was, considering how botched the early game was from Fnatic. EDG just like massively read their early game. And don't get me wrong, it's an easy early game to read. It's a very obvious play pattern when you're playing through Kalista level 1 lanes, especially with a jungler that wants to impact bot. You know it's going to happen sometime. I mean, at this point in the game, Gragas could just throw out Cask for funsies. He's like, especially post level 16, but when you got a load of cooldown reduction, it's on a very low cooldown, so. Yeah. It's fine to do that, honestly. Wonder would do that a lot on AP Gragas. Okay, setting up the turret. Dragon's coming up soon. Let's slow this down. Let's slow this down. Cask. Landry's on the flank. Just looking to be disruptive. Problem is, like, Gragas is actually pretty good as being a flanking tank, right? Because he's got the mobility to keep himself out of danger. He can disrupt quite well, but, like, you do want someone stood, like, in front of your carry. As we said, Fnatic are very good at splitting the team fight and burning down carries, and Gragas is not exactly in the best position to do much about that. Good front step from Brazok to not get punted into the team. They are now... Oh, so much damage, though, man. They don't... Oh, they pull Cholesterol for this, too. But, I mean, you still got Yuumi heals. Look at the work that Humanoid does, though. Trimby with the flank angles, or as I like to call them, the flangles. Doesn't get the wall stun. Gets the dragon, punts Lee Sin away. God, that's a big-ass Chaos Storm, though. This is why Fnatic like taking the split fights, right? Because, like, we haven't seen it much this game, and that's credit to Fnatic actually for choosing these angles, but, like, when you have Sivir and Victor being able to just dump damage into one direction, like, just in one place, that's just way too much, man. How different is this fight if you hit... I mean, I get getting away the smite, but if you get Scout out of this fight before he can cast Chaos Storm... Wait, does he... Is he... Wait. Is he trying to cancel Razok's channel? When has he done this? When has he done this? When does he get this through? It's pretty close. I think he gets Chaos Storm down either way. Until it storms and I can't keep my grip, slipping away from me. It's rough. That's rough. Could they have approached this fight any differently? They're in River. I don't know. Not having the Ornal is rough here. When does the Renata ult get pulled? Not gonna lie, that was a great angle to do some Renata ulting there, friend. He's walking out of the Chaos Storm. He's walking out of the Grav Field. But, like, surely at this point, you can... Surely right now, you should be channeling it. Maybe he thinks he's gonna get one shot, but, like... Ah, man. Hilly's not had good team fights this game. Hilly's had a bad game, guys. Because you can kind of split the team fight by... You can split the team fight by firing your ult there as well. That's what Fnatic want. They just don't want the... Hey, Amber, how's it going? Yeah, we're going for a little while now. Ah, man. That's like 2 fights where Fnatic could have, like, really launch padded off into a win. These are winnable fights. These are very winnable fights. I don't know, man. Oh, Hilly. Unironically, when Hilly doesn't get flash death first thing in the game, it's kind of too a little bit. Yeah, I hope you're doing alright, Amber. Yeah. I don't envy you on work days. Actually, I don't know what your work is. But work is work, so... Yeah. Oh, such good items from Humanoid there. Like, he is so ready to turn and burn on some poor Sivir stood in front of him. I mean, Sivir's got good items, right? But... Oh, quick thing. A lot of people question why stuff like Fire Cannon, even on something like Sivir. On the whole, I'll write it over here. RFC is at mid lane. Bio item. Allows you to hit wave first and hit from a safer position. That's typically what you're looking at. Particularly important when you've got to deal with this guy's poking around for everything, and a team that can very hard engage on you very, very quickly, right? Rapid fire cannon is really good to just like walk up to mid wave and having that extra degree of safety. And you saw what happened, right, when Fnatic were launching themselves at Civet. You can understand why that's important. You understand why that's in the equation. Admin for accommodation at local uni. Yeah, I've done some admin work before. I did NHS admin. Did NHS admin. Oh, I still have my NHS card. I don't like. If I were a very cynical person, I would be getting NHS discounts from shops, but I don't do that because I don't work there anymore, and that would feel kind of shitty. So I mean, I don't. Where is my NHS card thing? No, that's my credit cards. I don't want to give my credit card information out on stream. Yeah, I've got. Yeah, I've got NHS card. It's my card. It's low res. You can't make a photocopy of it. Yeah. Okay, you're still down a significant amount of gold, but like it's still kind of winnable, right? But like, oh, this is a really big thing too, right? It's harder to split down like this kind of angle than it is like when you're down here, because if you can afford the distance between like those 2 points in river and like mid lane are kind of less big than like this kind of distance here, right? I'm gonna photocopy my stream. Wow, can't believe you do that. This is another thing. So this bit of terrain here is often known as skill shot alley, because if you're against this wall, you can't dodge this way, right? You can't dodge this way. You can often only dodge down this way if you're particularly in this area here, right? Which means that skill shots are very easy to land because they're only going to dodge one way. Same things when you stood against any wall. If you're along here, you're in a bit of a rough position. Look where Upset ends up walking at this point, because he's worried about the skill shots coming in from this part, like from over here. Like, he's worried about skill shots coming in from here, so he's trying to position over here. Furthest away from Gragas that he can, because Gragas has flash. But he's right up against the wall. Yeah, he's right up against the wall. Maybe you could have flashed away from that, actually. No, maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, maybe. Raz looks pretty much dead. I mean, I get... So this Renata ult is better, because it's splitting Scout this way. Yuumi ult there. Humanoid's trying, man. Chaos Storm! Frick. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, this fight pretty much ends the game, right? Like, Fnatic deserve to lose this, particularly after that early game. The level 1, very early into the game. EDG completely read Fnatic, and they played very, very well. But this game was very winnable, and Hilly had some bad team fights, man. Oh, Hilly, what are we gonna do with you, buddy? Yeah, that's rough. That's rough. Okay, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go to the toilet quickly, and then I can come back and I'll do like one more game. We'll see. Okay, 1 second. Keep yourselves entertained.